And we're rolling. What is up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to discuss the future of the MT10. Now this should interest a few of you, as most of you guys have got MT10s or like MT10s. So Yamaha recently announced the new MT10 or the MT range, and new colours and all that jazz. I don't think the colours were that different, but yeah, the new range is out. And I say new, it's not very new, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm getting into the future of this bike, and you know, what are Yamaha going to do with the MT10? Who knows, but I'm going to discuss and hopefully create a bit of healthy debate as to what I think they should do with this bike. So the MT10's obviously been around for a while now, coming out in 2016, and it's a great bike, one of my favourite bikes, and I think it is the most underrated naked bike that you can currently buy in the 1000cc or 1000 category, in that sort of, in its own class. Because yes, KTM's great, yes, Aprilia are great, yes, Ducatis are great, but they are all premium price tag bikes, and this is a premium price tag bike, don't get me wrong, but they're on another level of price, compared to this thing. Now, MT, I love what Yamaha did. They just made basically a bonkers 1000, and it's a wheelie monster. You can pull this thing up in most gears, and it absolutely rides lovely. It's solid through the corners. It's down a bit on power now compared to the other bikes in its class, which is probably my first topic, I think. Now, I think a lot of people are screaming for the R1 engine in this MT. I guess the problem with that is the price. It's going to hike up the price, and I'm not sure if people want a slightly cheaper bike or if they want a full fat MT, like imagine an MT10 SP with an R1 engine in. I know people have done it, but imagine if that was out the box. You have a 200 brake horsepower bike naked. I think they'd probably have to fiddle around with the bike a little bit. I think it would just be a bit too much in the current chassis. What did I say, chassis? It would be a bit too much in the current form. You'd have to extend the swing arm a touch, I imagine, because it's a wheelie machine anyway. Oh god, it's a windy day today. I can't really hear myself talking in the helmet, so hopefully you guys can. So yeah, Yamaha, I would like a 200 brake horsepower engine, please. I personally think that's a good move. As long as they adjust the bike to suit it, I don't see it being a big issue, and I think it needs it to keep up with the competition, because currently it's always a little bit behind, and I'd like it to be up there, because it deserves to be up there. So yeah, 200 brake horsepower, slight tweak, and I think the bulk of the complaints might just leave. I say complaints, bulk of, I keep seeing it on whenever Yamaha releases an MT10 photo, like, where's that 200 brake engine, where's the R1 engine, give us the R1 engine. And I would like it. No one really wants the engine that's, had the valves taken out of it for put heavier ones in just to save cost. We want the full fat, and I think a lot of people would pay for it, because currently Yamaha don't offer it. These super nakeds are all over the place, with Aprilia and Ducati and BMW offering pretty high-end bikes, but Yamaha don't seem to be up there. I mean, they're there with this, but it's just not as good as it could be, and that's what we want. I think that's what we want, guys. I mean, you'd have to comment and tell me your thoughts. I'd love to know what everyone wants from the new MT10. But yeah, for me, I think the new engine, the R1 engine, needs to be at least the same, like what BMW have done with the S1000RR and the M1000R. That shares the same engine, 200 brake horsepower, bonkers, naked, lovely, amazing. That's what we want. That's what I want. Secondly, I think the looks of this bike definitely divide opinion. If I was the boss at Yamaha, I would be saying, right design team, I want a bike which looks saucy. I don't want anything that's edgy and looks like the Fly, which the new MT kind of does look like the Fly, but not in a bad way. I don't dislike the way it looks, so don't hack me down in the comments for that. It's just, I don't think it appeals to a lot of people. It definitely divides opinion, and some could say that is a positive, but I would like it to just look good and just be known as a good looking bike, and I think they would definitely grab a lot more customers. I mean, if this bike had the engine of the R1, looked a bit more maybe like the R1, without, not saying it should look like an R1, but if it just looked a bit, you know, sexier. The R1 tail, for example, it's such a sexy tail, but it's not on this. There's a seat on this. Like, you're buying a hyper naked bike, it's pretty rare that you're actually going to want to use the rear seat. I know that people do, and to have the option is really what we want for that. But for me, I'd rather have a really mean looking tail like the R1 or the Tuono. The Tuono has a great looking tail on it. So yeah, please. And yeah, sort the headlights out, make them look a bit aesthetic. And I think the MT10 would be, I think if they did that, the MT10 would be the best bike on the market. It depends on how they priced it, obviously, but it would be very difficult to compete with. And I do think that the MT has something about it, and then anyone that's ridden one will know. Like it just has a bit of character. So yeah, with those minor little changes, I say minor changes, they are pretty minor if you're a manufacturer like Yamaha. Those minor changes, you will have, you'll up your sales. I'm not even working there, and I know that. I know that loads of people, if the Yamaha MT10 looked better and had 200 brake horsepower with a slightly, you know, tweaked swing arm maybe just to handle it, I reckon it would be the best selling naked on the market. Because it sounds ridiculous. Like the MT10 is, for me, top 2 sounding bikes on the market, alongside the Tuono and the, you know, the V4 from Aprilia. I think they're the 2 best sounding bikes you can buy at the moment. So it's got the character, hasn't really got the looks, and it doesn't have the performance of its major competitors, the, you know, the top tier ones, the V4S, the Tuonos and the BMWs. Doesn't quite have the edge on them. And I guess the price is reflected in that, but yeah, I think that we would pay it. That's my opinion. I think we would. I would definitely consider buying one of these if it had that. From new as well, I wouldn't even care. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the future of the MT10? What do you think Yamaha should do? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think? I did recently see the MT09, and yeah, I saw the direction they're going with that. I thought the front of it looked pretty good. I think it looks a bit like Iron Man, actually. That was my first impression. I was like, that's an Iron Man face on a bike, which is cool, I guess. It looks good. Iron Man's face looks aggressive, and yeah, I liked it. MT9 is a cracking bike too. I also think if you've got the name of MT and the Master of Torque, you should be the actual Master of Torque. And I think the KTM Super Duke would probably have something to say about that at the moment. So yeah, bear that in mind. Anyway guys, I love you and leave you, and I shall catch you on the next one. Ciao for now.